Welcome to Petsacular, your go-to spot for honest and thorough reviews of all things pet-related. Today, we're checking out the Petcare Puppy Pads XXL. Yes, these pads are XXL for a reason. With potty training, housebreaking, or even just managing those senior dog accidents, the right pee pad can make all the difference. Let's dive into what makes these a good or not so good option for your furry friend. These XXL pads are a whopping 75% larger than standard puppy pads, making them an ideal solution for larger breeds or pets that need extra space. They come in at 26 inches by 30 inch, so they're more than capable of handling the big messes, especially for dogs still working on their potty training. With a 5-layer construction and ultra-strong tear-resistant fibers, these pads are built to handle repeated use. Plus, they have a special odor control technology that promises to keep things from stinking up the house. Always a win when you're potty training. And don't forget about the leak-proof feature, which is critical when dealing with those mid-training accidents. In my experience, setting these pads up was as easy as it gets. Just unfold them and place them in your designated potty spot. The absorbency is something I really appreciate, particularly for puppies who seem to have the bladder of a tiny Niagara Falls. I tested these with my dog, and the pads held up well, even after multiple uses, keeping leaks at bay. However, I did notice for particularly large dogs with heavier accidents, the absorbency could use a bit more reinforcement, as the pads tend to saturate faster with bigger messes. Now onto the pros and cons. The standout pro for these pads is the size. For pet parents with bigger dogs, it's nice to have an option that actually accommodates them properly. The tear-resistant nature is also fantastic. I've had a few pads that fell apart after a couple of uses, but these held up without a hitch. The absorbency is decent for most small to medium dogs, and the odor control technology is a major plus. On the flip side, for those with larger breeds, the pads can feel a bit overwhelmed by heavier messes, which leads to some leakage around the edges. And while the size is great for bigger dogs, it could be a little much for smaller breeds. When it comes to value for money, the Petcare Puppy Pads offer decent value for their price. They're not the cheapest on the market, but you're getting a larger size and reliable performance. If you're raising a puppy or dealing with a senior dog with incontinence, these pads are worth considering. However, if you're looking for something more budget-friendly or have a smaller dog, you might want to check out cheaper alternatives that do the job for less. Speaking of alternatives, there are a few other brands in the market that offer similar-sized pads, like Petco's 28-inch by 34-inch pads or Amazon Basics larger pads. These options can sometimes be more affordable, though they might not have the same level of odor control or leak protection. Now, let's talk about build quality and longevity. These pads are definitely built to last through multiple uses, especially with the strong fibers. That said, as mentioned before, larger breeds might find these pads a bit lacking when it comes to absorbing heavy amounts of liquid. If you need something that can take on a heavy hitter, you may need to swap them out more frequently. But for smaller dogs or light users, these pads should last you for a while. Customer support from Out is pretty standard. I haven't had to reach out to them directly for issues with these pads, but their reputation in the pet care industry is solid. They're known for providing affordable and functional products, which is why these pads are a go-to for many pet owners. So what's the final verdict? The Petcare Puppy Pads XXL are a solid option for larger dogs or those in training. They offer a good balance of absorbency, leak protection, and odor control, making them a reliable choice for most pet parents. While they might not be the best fit for dogs with heavier accidents, they still provide great value and reliability. If you're dealing with a smaller breed or looking for something more affordable, you might want to consider alternatives. But overall, these pads do what they promise and could make potty training just a little bit easier. If this review was helpful to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so other pet owners can find this video too. Thanks for watching, and remember, the link to grab these pads is in the comments box. Feel free to ask any questions or share your experience if you've already tried them. Till next time, keep those paws clean and happy. Until the next review on Petsacular, take care.